are unhappy.
You feel like a hater. I don't like her tone. I wish you would tell Margaret to shut the up.
That's not a nice person.
There's no door, asshole. You're gonna respect me more than that. Everyone's got skeletons. Don't even go with it. We're gonna go get there.
Hey, Ronnie Jr.
Hello.
We are so excited to be back. I see you got your cocky in your hand. We have our audience, our live audience now.
Yeah, come on, sound effects budget. As we grow, I love it. I love it. I love it. How are you?
Good. I added some things in our intro for you. I was hoping you were going to be surprised.
I was really having a moment, and it was good because off camera, while we were prepping for the show, I was telling Russell, I was like, you know, I work hard like everyone else, so like no big deal. But like today, I was exhausted, and I was looking for something to like really bring me up in energy. And I've had a big morning. Like I've been up since about 3 a.m, and I've been doing this and that. And again, who cares? But I was looking for something. And I did not expect that because I know how the intros usually go. And that was good. That was very, very good. Our production value has grown. So thank you for all the people who are liking, commenting, and subscribing and just enjoying what we do. Honestly, Russell, we have a good time. Like, that's what it's about.
We do have a good time. And you know what? A lot of people don't realize how much work it is to put into a show. Like, to make all the slides, to find the footage, to get the banners ready. It's a lot. But I'm so thankful. If there's anyone I'm thankful to do it with, it's you for a season. Here we are, season 13, episode 10, which is my favorite number. I want to jump right into it. I know we have a couple of games to play today, but right off the bat, if you hear this word, as you see across the bottom of your screens, feel free to take a drink of your coffee, or if you're having some water because you're going somewhere and you're driving like me, have water. But either way, stay hydrated so you're not thirsty.
Oh, like Jennifer Aiden. Got it. Okay, don't be thirsty. Wonderful.
Don't be Jennifer Aiden. Don't be thirsty. Heading right into it, Dolores planned a trip. She actually had Paulie's father, and was it his mother? Or was it his stepmom?
It was whoever was married to whoever was there with Paulie. Okay. Regardless, I will say this. I just thought the beat and the tone of this episode was so wonderful. I've said to you before in other recaps we've done Housewives of Miami, and like for it to have a sting, for it to have drama, you need to have the peaks and valleys. And I felt like this was really I almost wanted to question, like, was it edited differently? And it felt a lot more human. Honestly, I'm watching the Dolores and Paulie Irish family show, and I'm into it, and I love the scene. It was calm, and it definitely set up the episode the way we needed. And I'm just so happy for her. That's it.
You know, I really love this season of I really loved this season of Dolores and Jersey Wives. I think it's
so Dolores is the star. Yeah, she is.
This season is Dolores' season. Like, there's always a headliner for the series, and I think even though Teresa let out the gate with her wedding ceremony for the initial trailer for season 13, I think Dolores has really stolen the show because she's very level-headed this season. She's spearheading a lot of things. She's leading trips. She's leading parties. She's leading just
raising money. Yeah.
Yes, raising money. Like, it's very much Dolores's love bubble moment, which we can appreciate. And you know, I really like that she's in a good place with her in-laws. She's really able to lean on Paulie and be at his house and enjoy his space. And I think that's so nice when you're in a loving relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, I just think I enjoyed the in-laws' accents that were at the house because it's authentic, like their first, or like first generation. So just to hear that, it's just refreshing just to know what the Upper East Side of America is made up of, and all of the melting pots of just cultures that came in over time. And when Ellis Island, when all of our ancestors, including my own, were coming over on the boats and just making their way towards the land of promise. It's really cool. It's just refreshing.
Yeah,
because we tend to lose that. We become Americanized after our second and third generation. So it's just nice to hear that.
Well, I think we infuse love with that too, because we have Dolores, who is very much a Northeastern chick who we've adored all these seasons. And we get to see a softer side of her, and then we get to be brought in through love. It's just also interesting because it is that melting pot, and it's very much like when they do cast trips, typically it still feels like it's a job, but this didn't feel like a job because Dolores was like, I'm in love with this man, which, by the way, I believe Dolores actually has some Irish in her as well, which is also very interesting. But it was like, oh, we went here. He took me on this location when I was for Valentine's Day. All I could say watching as a viewer was like, I want that. I want somebody to take me to Ireland, for a holiday like that. So I was all in. It was smooth, and it was the texture that I needed for Housewives of New Jersey. So it was very good. Yes.
It was cute. It was a cute moment. And I think they keep having these cutesy moments, which I like. And I can't wait for Paulie to pull out the ring. I know it's not going to happen this season.
I was worried what he was going to say there. Pull out what? Ooh. Ooh.
Wait, where are my sound effects when I need them? Hold on.
Give me a moment. Oop. Oop.
Oh, so we have some new sound effects. So now when you hear the... And if we don't have any verses going on, so there's no verses this week, it also means that it's game time.
Okay.
The game, whether it's you hosting it or I hosting it, because like this stuff come up, we have a correct answer or we have a wrong answer. And then if you win, you get the crowd.
All that? Wow. See, listen, when we do the shows on my channel, my YouTube, it's like you don't get any of that. you get me continuously drinking, but you don't get any of that. So you better enjoy it while we're being hosted by the great Russell Ray Silva. So yeah, not for randomly. Nope.
You know what? I see it as like it's where you're at, it's where you're going. Right. And like, I've told you this many times, like you are a mentor of my own because you have it. When I hear your voice, when I don't even need to look in your direction to know that you have the camera, radio, just hosting experience, just because it's so naturally flowing off the tongue when you're speaking and articulating yourself. And I will say, like at my birthday party this past year, it's like you stood out from the crowd because your voice has so much texture to it. So like, yes. So when people look at my show, they have to know that like, yes, you are a mentor, but at the same time, I need to do you justice. But at the same time, like I'm also competing with you because you hold a standard that I have to meet. So
no, we enjoy doing
to have someone that holds a standard versus someone that doesn't have a standard, because then I don't push myself.
Let me tell you one thing. We are, it's competitive in a fun, like we both want to win way. But also, here's another thing, like in terms of our work. Oh my God, I can't get the words out.
Come on,
work
Teresa.
ethic and dedication. Russell and I, when we first worked on a project together, it had been like a couple weeks before we realized we're both big J-Lo fans. J-Lo's new movie, The Mother's coming. And when you have your own dream,
about that, by the way,
So
excited about that.
Yeah, the trailer looked good.
Yes.
Elaine Goldsmith-Thomas, yes, the producing partner. And of course, on Housewives, we have Melissa Gorga, who is the J-Lo of Housewives. But when Russell and I started working together, and we should get right to the show, I will say there was a great connection because both of us had our big dreams and our dedication. But then it was like, you like J-Lo? I like J-Lo. And I think that was like a really strong like understanding of like whatever we do. Television. Right now, I'm working in radio in New York, on a very small basis. Russell on the Peacock.
A small basis in a huge network.
Russell, who you don't have to put extras, but thank you. Russell on the Peacock streaming platform on the TV show Create the Escape. Like whatever it is that we do, we've got that like J-Lo tenacity, I guess you would say. But anyway, I guess we could get started. I did think it was a good episode. 1 out of 10. I'm giving it like an 8 only because the end really comes against our queen or my queen, Melissa, but it was a really good episode in general.
I give it a 9. And the reason I give it a 9 is because Jennifer Aiden actually admitted to being wrong. And I appreciate it because when you can laugh at yourself or when you can admit your mistakes, it always says something about your character. It shows that you're human. It shows that there's goodness inside of you. When you cannot admit to things, like we won't say from the Real Housewives of Miami, specifically a person, and you cannot admit to doing wrong, there's an issue with that. But I always appreciate a self-humbling moment, especially if it's like gonna make the crowd laugh. And that's exactly Jennifer Aiden had that moment for me this week. And it's coming off the heels of J-Lo and living our J-Lo jet-setting lives. Can we talk about Housewives in Main Cabin?
Let's talk about it.
Completely shook me, right? I saw Danielle and she was sitting behind a random man and I'm like, wait a minute. I've been on a lot of planes and this is not first class. This is not economy comfort. This is not business class. This is not, what else do they call it on airlines? This isn't comfort plus. This isn't premium select. I was like, this is straight up Main Cabin. So I took the liberty of looking up the tickets, and for a basic seat, which means you don't get to pick your fare. I mean, you don't get to pick your actual seat that you're going to be sitting in. It's assigned to you. It is $750 round trip if you book a week in advance. Okay. Historically, airline tickets are cheaper if you book the further in advance. So I'm assuming if they knew this trip was coming, they probably booked it about a month in advance. So the tickets were probably like $500. But we're just gonna go with the $750 for the round trip for basic. If you want to choose your seat, it's $875. If you want to sit in business select, it's $1,700. Mind you, these are all round trip. If you want to sit in first class, it's $5,000. And I was like, I know each one of these housewives is getting paid at least 30 grand per episode. And if there is, pull out my calculator. If there is 16 episodes, not including the reunion, so I'm assuming they get paid for the reunion as well, but we're not going to count that. So 16 episodes times 30 grand a show is $480,000 a season.
Yeah, at the minimum, yeah, because some of them are making way more. Yeah.
Couldn't splurge on a first class ticket, and this isn't like just to Danielle, but I'm like, this wasn't in the production budget. Like this is franchised, multi-million, probably not, if not billion-dollar franchise at this point, and you're telling me you couldn't get your cast members a first class ticket?
Do you think the wedding is what took up a little bit of that budget? I personally am not looking forward to the wedding as like the big thing of the season, but I imagine that may have taken a lot of the budget. I mean, here's the thing: when you travel, like at least they're all together, so you could kind of absorb these smaller spaces. You know, it'd be way worse if they were by themselves. They were together; it was probably fun. But yeah, who is making the network? Let's talk about that. All this money, all these ad dollars, and you can't even get your cast over there to Ireland, you know, with the proper respect that they deserve. The only thing I'm thinking is if maybe when they were pitching where we're gonna go, when Dolores stepped in and said we'd like to do Ireland, you know, that kind of ties into Paulie and the whole thing. They probably were like, they may have said no, and then for them to do it, they maybe had to do it at a budget. I don't know the answer, actually. I didn't even pick that up. That's so funny. You, who is a jet setter, you picked that up. I didn't even see this at all. When you texted me about this, I was like, what is he even talking about? What is the
fact that Danielle's head was this close to the seat in front of her? I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
Who arranged these tickets and why are my girls not in first class? We are 13 seasons deep. So there is no reason that my friends need to be in main cabin at this point of the success of this show.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to reach out to somebody and ask exactly what happened, because that was probably like the biggest shakeup of this entire episode for me, was the fact that we this deep into the franchise and we had main cast members sitting in main cabin.
Yeah,
I need
I
my
saw
girls
it.
to be fed. I need them to be in lie flat seats on this red eye that they're going to, because as you see, they landed, they went straight to lunch, and they did everything.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm sure
I know
there's
how
an
that
answer.
is. So
Yeah.
going into any of these international flights, you're always flying on a red eye. Especially if you're getting there in the morning hours, like you want to sleep on the flight over there. So going from flying to the castle to getting your doing hair and makeup, being camera ready, that is a hard day. So not only is it like, yes, like it's fun to be like, wow, they're normal people like us sitting in main cabin, but at the same time, like you need your cast well rested. But on the contrary, if they're not rested, they're more cranky, which can make for better television. But I still want to know who booked these tickets, because my girls should have not been sitting in main cabin.
I feel like it still was maybe the hotel, like it was, from the 17th century, and that was so expensive. Maybe there was choices that had to be made. Like, we'll give you, I mean, the place had 7 bathrooms, so they may have had to make like these difficult decisions. Like Teresa's going to take a lot of the budget for the wedding. This, I mean, magical, not hotel or a castle. It was so magical. So maybe a lot of money went into that. Actually, I don't know the answers, but I feel like you need to get on the phone, Russell Ray, and you need to get on the phone with production and say, I just have an inquiry for my YouTube channel. I just have to know. Just ask them and maybe they'll tell you.
Hello, 911. There's an issue.
Okay. Well, now you sound like Teresa's best friend, Alexia, who thinks 911 is to solve everything. No, emergencies only. Thank you.
We need to call because I need to know why my girls are not in first class.
Wild. But you know what? They were embodying and living first class lifestyle the whole time, the whole episode. I think all of them really surprised me collectively.
Speaking of embodied, can we talk about Jen Fessler and her James Gandolfini slumber? Talk about embodied.
Yeah,
I was shook.
Well, what was? You got to expect a lot of the. My age, these people are all maybe 10 years older than me, or close to my age. I'm getting up there. We all have our stories. And she did say it was before he was on The Sopranos. Like, she hooked up with him maybe at a time that he wasn't that big of a star, but like she was in the business to a degree. She said she was an actress or, tried, and then moved into talent agency. I just am not as surprised by it. I loved it though. And good for her.
I was surprised. The only reason I was surprised is because were NDAs not a thing back then?
Russell's middle name is NDA.
My middle name is NDA, baby. If you step in my front door, you are signing an NDA because we know I'm going through the roof, and the last thing that I need is anybody digging skeletons out of my closet.
For your birthday that you reflected on a bit ago, yes, NDAs. I can't say
NDA when they walk
I can't say nothing. I can't say nothing. I can't say nothing.
You have a little bit more leeway because I trust you. But
yeah.
Everybody, if I don't know you, baby, that stack of doors in this little where is this little side stand right there has a stack of NDAs that everybody needs to sign.
Those are the rules. Did it make you like her more, Jen Fessler? She's just been so fun in this show.
I like her.
It's a fun role. Yeah.
But I was like, are we really gonna talk? I wonder, is he gonna have something to say about it?
Well, he's not. No, he's not with us. You didn't hear at the end? Yeah, at the end she mentioned even when he passed,
yes,
he felt
a couple
connected.
Years ago, right? I remember this now.
And then she was kind of making it as if she was a little bit delusional. This is one of the things I loved when we got Sonia Morgan and she would talk about all of her old stories with John, and then which was kind of a contrast later on. Madonna, Marisol always talks about being in the Versace mansion with Madonna and Sly Stallone and those things. Now, who knows how deep these stories are and how authentic they are, but they do reflect back to a time. And so if you're my age bracket, I'm living for these stories. All like Sonia could lie and just say she was with this one, and Bo Derek was over here, and this one was over here, and there was Grace Jones. When in reality, like, Sonia, you might not have been at Studio 54, but like, if you could tell it, I'm as a viewer, it's interesting to me. So Jen Fessler could have been lying to us, but you know what? It was still fun.
We do have a comment from Corey Polk, who is joining us. He said, "We don't speak ill of the dead."
Nobody was. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
One of the best sitcom actors ever, Tony Soprano. Okay, but I think by what Corey means by that is like, let's have a little bit of discretion, considering the guy can't even like come back.
Which, well, I
thought he had passed, but like I didn't. It didn't register with me for some reason because I was just so shook that she mentioned it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't talk like we don't normally hear about. Let me throw out my parental advisory. Hold on. We don't usually talk about celebrities being inside of other people.
Yeah.
Like out loud. Like these are not things that we speak about. Like they might mention it in their memoirs 20 years down the line. Like if they're two major A-list celebrities, like, I was such in love with this person and I lost my virginity to them. Like that's one thing. But like to say that someone was inside of you multiple times, I was like, I didn't know how I felt about that.
Well, she should be a little bit courteous and cautious to his family, his legacy. Like, make your funny jokes for sure. That's what her role is on this show, and she does it very well. But that crossed my mind a little bit as well, because timelines might even be thrown off. Like she just. It was funny and it was a moment, but yeah, there should be a little more discretion. I do kind of agree with that.
Corey also said, especially one who can't give the other side of the story.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say. If you're going to say something, at least if there's no other side, it's just your side.
I've never heard that, but okay.
You just did from me. Oh my gosh. Yes. So I was a little thrown by that, but on a lighter note, it is time for our first game, and it is called, as soon as I can pull it up because I'm just going through all these little things, Teresa Translation. All right, Ronnie Jr., you have 60 seconds. I'm going to go through.
I'm the contestant? Oh,
yes,
goodness.
You are the contestant. I'm going to go. I have 60.
As a non-Teresa fan, this is going to be quite the shit show. Can we say shit show? Can we say show? Here we go.
So you're going to have 60 seconds to translate what Teresa was actually trying to say over some seasons.
Okay.
When she came up with her own catchphrases, one of them being on this episode, her saying Channing Tatum instead of Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum, yes. So, at least she was happy. She was happy in that moment. That was good.
She is. And like when Teresa gets worked up, sometimes she just doesn't get her words out right. So again, Teresa Translation. So what did Teresa mean by blow her casket?
Oh, blow a gasket. That was 3 seasons ago, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was correct.
Oh, sorry, I'm playing the game so quickly.
This season, Teresa said mountain out of a molehill. What did that mean?
Oh, the poor girl struggled. And we all got what she was saying. Sometimes I wonder if she does this on purpose. Mountain out of a molehill. But at the same time, do we use the word molehill very often? No.
I'm calm and cool as a whistle.
Oh, I don't remember her saying that, and I remember a lot. When season did she say that? I mean, it's a cucumber, cousin of the pineapple, which she does love, and we know why. But it's cucumber. Yeah, cucumber. Do we think that's true, by the way? Do we think the pineapple does make the old sauce a little better? I think it has to be true. Pineapple is very cleansing.
We will get into that later.
Oh, is that like the other version of the show? Got it.
Yes.
Moving on. Got it.
Brown chicka brown chown. What was Teresa trying to say?
That was funny. What a struggle. Teresa on this darn struggle bus. You gotta love it. She was trying to give the 70s, bound chicka wow. Yeah. She was going for it.
scenario.
Yeah.
I'm being raw as a cucumber.
Oh, she said that. She is the Ramona of this franchise in terms of her, getting her phrases out. What did she say in that one? Go again.
I'm being raw as a cucumber.
Yeah, so she wanted to say I'm cool as a cucumber.
Correct.
Okay, good.
Last but not least, whirlwind.
I mean, whirlwind, people have said it. Whirlwind is more the word that people are trying to intentionally use. Yeah. Did I do okay?
Thanks for playing, Ronnie Jr. You have gotten every single one of those ones correct.
Cheers to me.
Because if not,
turned.
You would have heard a.
Oh God, I don't want to.
That, so that's good. Okay, going right back into the show. Now that we're on a lighter note, let's talk about psychic or psych out. So, do you think that the psychic was actually true, or was she actually trying to psych out the cast because Jennifer Aydin gave her prerequisites on what to know about the women before having their readings?
I think that I can't blame the psychic, and I do remember on one of the posts, either for your YouTube or mine. Of course, we simulcast the show. Thank you everybody for commenting, liking, and subscribing. But there was a comment on one of them that stated, "Well, the lady who plays the psychic is also an actress." To which I'm like, I don't want to make it as if that detaches from her talent. Work as whatever the thing was where they had the tea and she was a psychic of sorts, because a lot of people they have their one thing and they're a yoga teacher, they have their one thing and they're a salon stylist or something, so it could very well be
host and I have a day job.
Yeah, you're jet setting all the time, it's part of it. So I don't really think it's a bad thing per se. I don't think she was at fault, but I definitely feel like information was given to her. Now, Jen tried to run it back by stating, well, I was just kind of explaining it to her. And to some degree, Jen almost made sense, which is so crazy because Jennifer Aydin never does. But to some degree, she was making it more like, I wasn't intentionally putting it out there. I was just saying this in conversation, which I kind of can get. But you can't do that for the lady who's going to go into a scene or a setting, forget it being filmed, who is going to be there to give a reading for these women. I mean, that is too much information, and that really skews everything. But you know what was great about it? They all challenged Jen. She usually gets really hot and bothered. She kind of was caught by everybody. Everybody was like, but Jen, you can't endorse. What was the word? Endorsement? Yeah, it was rough. And I'm glad Jen got told what to do.
My favorite part of this whole scenario is when Jennifer was doing her confessional. She was like, oh, shoot, did I say a little too much? Maybe I did say a little too much because I was talking. And she actually admitted to telling her that her and Margaret were having their own little tiff going on. But at the same time, she couldn't remember or resonate if she said anything specific that would have given the psychic specific words that she used in the readings. So I found it fun and lighthearted because Jennifer normally doesn't confess to any wrongdoing. So the fact that she was able to just lean into it and say, you know what, maybe I did give her a little bit of too much information was a fun moment for me because I don't normally get that from Jennifer. And it's been a really intense season for her. She's going through marriage counseling. Her husband's infidelity has come out. There's just a lot of things that she's kind of going through this season that I appreciate now that she's having just a lighter hearted moment. Because I don't wish bad upon anyone, upon any franchise. I always want them to have the best life. I think opportunities like this arise once in a lifetime. And if you can capitalize on it and build a business or build a brand or provide for your children in future settings, provide them college, these are all great things. So, again, but I just thought it was fun that she was like, did I say a little too much? Maybe I did. Oh, maybe I told her that. I didn't remember. It's great. It's fun because it shows how we are as people. Sometimes we speak and we just don't realize the things that we say, or we don't remember things that we've said. And so when it's brought up, we tend to get caught off guard in those moments. So
well, she also never gives us that side of her. She's always so ornery. And so you can't tell me what to do. I can say what I want to say. It's like, you're like missing the human grown up conversations that people have back and forth. That's all we ever get. It is one note. I thought it was refreshing for her to be like, ooh, well, I may have stepped in it, and feeling a little like okay about it, where the next scene she's probably like, oh, this mansion, or not mansion, but this castle is amazing, but I live in a castle anyway. So she's able to still give all the, her the one side, but give us this. We want to see this. I agree with you 1000%.
I will say, out of everyone's houses, though, Jennifer does have the most beautiful one.
I mean, but do you want to live in Paramus, New Jersey? Get out of here! I don't want to live in Paramus. I don't want to live in Paramus. No, I'm not living in Paramus.
What is Paramus?
I'm just not living in Paramus. I am too cool for the room to live in Paramus. Me personally, I don't care if it's a mansion. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do
affordable?
I don't want to do it. No, I'm not gonna. I am not the realtor. But I'm just not. I'm just not that impressed.
Is that like having a mansion in San Bernardino?
Well, jeez.
Well, I'm trying to for the viewers so that they can comprehend the comparison of both.
My comments sometimes need to just be given, and then they need to just let you simmer. That no, it's probably more about her, but no, and it's also Paramus. Like I'm not. Actually, somebody asked me a question.
For those of you who are watching, we're just gonna say Paramus is San Bernardino, and albeit Franklin Lakes is Beverly Hills.
I will say, first of all, somebody asked, Corey asked in the comments, what's in my glass? And it's always water, vodka, and this time it happens to have a peach and a strawberry. So it kind of all comes together. The flavors come together, and I'm having a great time. Again, as I said earlier, I was really tired, and I'm trying to like wake my energy up. So that's why when Russell's like, well, tell me more. And I'm like, oh gosh, I can't back it up today. I just need to say it and move on. I'm sorry. Normally I'm a talker, but not today. Today I am exhausted. Oof.
So again, we're gonna say Paramus is San Bernardino, and we're gonna say that
there he goes.
Franklin Lakes is Beverly Hills. Just in case anybody like me needs to know geographically why someone wouldn't want to live there. Anyways,
okay.
I think the psychic might have been a little bit of a psych out because I feel like it was just too right on point.
And they all said that.
If the nail was on the head for everything. Mm-hmm. And someone like Teresa Caputo, I can completely understand because she's walking into a room and her thoughts are jumping. She's not finishing sentences. So she's talking to you, Ronnie Jr., but then she's looking over at Shane and she's like, actually, hold on. Something's coming in now because I mentioned that Ronnie Jr. has on a red hat. Did you have a redheaded grandmother or something like that? Teresa Caputo jumps from person to person. So this psychic really didn't do that. She was reading an oracle out of a cup that very much it's self-explanatory, it's very forward, and so for there to be specifics in regards to conversations that were had were just questionable for me. So I'm gonna say she is a psych out.
Can I mention one thing?
What?
Unlike a lot of people, and I think last week it was explained, we had Hollywood Leon joined our show. And I think you and him and everybody, lots of people do agree with this. They really love the psychic scenes on this franchise, Real Housewives. I gotta say, unpopular opinion, I don't love it. Now, in real life, I'm very much, I think this would be something I would like to do with friends or whatever, like in a real moment. But I don't really feel like, I know that it played well. I wasn't really a Beverly Hills fan, specifically because Kyle's the most boring housewife in the history of housewives. And so long as she's the star, I can never like really like it. And that was something that I said season 1, episode 1, frame 1. And she's on like how many seasons still. So I know that the Beverly Hills one worked really, really well, but unpopular opinion, I don't love them for the show. But what my main thing is, I don't want to discredit this woman. I don't want to discredit what she did and her skill set, but Jennifer kind of got in the way by giving her too much information.
It wasn't allowed to be natural.
Yeah, so let's not dog the lady. Let's dog Jennifer.
Let's dog San Bernardino.
Well, yes, always.
Moving on, and here's my thing. If the psychic was really going down the path of I'm telling you what's going on in your life, we would have heard something about Melissa's makeout moment that supposlly happened with Matt
Nick. His name is Nick
Barrott, right?
Wait, what? Last name?
Yeah.
No, it's like Bartolo or something like that.
Nick.
Yeah. Again, as I said before, I've been following him forever. So I feel like I've seen. Okay. I feel like I've seen them at events together just because, you know, like when you're in the same sort of business. Like he's an actor on one of the Tyler Perry shows. And I believe he's like kind of from the area. It just. Anyway, we'll get when you ask the questions. I will have an opinion.
Well, here's the thing. He runs in Joe's circle. He's close with them. We never see him post with the girls.
Who's this?
Nick.
Oh no, the most current I believe is I mean not during the filming of this because again he has nothing to do with the show even though they're bringing his name in it. I believe currently this is just me off the top. I might be wrong. I believe he is they're expecting like a girlfriend. Yeah. Which is going to be kind of
terrible time to like.
Yeah. And that's what's so ugly about this show. And this is the part I don't like about the show is let the organic arguments happen. But all of the stuff that Danielle and Jen are doing and all this movement, if we're so much for like, you know, the sake of like, we love Teresa, we want Teresa to be in love, Louis in love, all the things are love as a deterrent. This is all so far from that because you potentially are knocking this gentleman's story into a different direction. But you know what? He's a big boy. He's grown. He's got a great job. And it looks like he's expecting. I mean, is what I think.
The Oval is a very successful show.
Yeah.
A very successful Tyler Perry show. Like the Oval is Tyler Perry built a whole replica of the White House on his production lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And that show was definitely going places. It's one of his higher notarized shows that he has. It gets a lot of credit from a lot of critics, so I think it's a great show. But I will say, like, I don't know, like, don't ruin someone's life. I know friends who make out with each other all the time. Not all the time, but they're just one-offs when people drink. So even if it was the case, he runs in Joe's circle, and maybe it's like.
Clarify that though when you say he runs in Joe's circle, because
he runs in Joe's circle. They go on boat trips together. They go out to the lake. There's about 7 guys that Joe is constantly going out with when he's either here in LA or when he's out in New York. And Nick has been here in LA with Joe when they're out, you know, doing the boat tours off Santa Monica. Like they do things together and they're in their trunks and they're having a good time and it's just the boys. So like
sounds like a fun trip.
Do I think anybody is swingers? No. Do I think that like
well that's the thing is it was go I'm sorry. I'm about to get passionate about this.
Do I think if they're being stupid and you know might have kissed one another? Yes, like Joe kisses Frank all the time, you know. And like, there's no attachment there.
But you're making it practical. You're making what Jen and what Danielle, now that she got into it, and she did say, "Oops, I didn't want to get into it." She kind of probably did.
She did. She did.
It's like and this is what we're doing. We're all making it practical. And I've always said since day one, one of the things I love about Joe and Melissa is they have a little bit of an attitude, like in even how they are with each other. They're very like, you know, even jokey in terms of like that. For one, they're jokey and they're flirty and all that stuff, which I love. But they're also over the seasons real like, oh, you want to go with that one? Oh, let me see you try. I'll be with this one tomorrow. Like they're so assured with themselves that they could play like that. And that's one of the things I've always really loved about them. So I guess what I'm saying is that kind of person and that level of confidence that they have. And I'm not saying they don't have problems. And I'm not saying they may have had actual things over the years step in. But what I am saying is it's Jen taking how her actual true infidelity caused a problem, how her getting her words and trying to cut low to Margaret, and Margaret kept back with, well, you know, your husband was with the receptionist or whatever the case, and that happened to be true. It's like they're taking all of that. Jen's taking all of that, and she's like, I wouldn't want this to happen to Melissa. Yes, you would. This was intentional. And again, I always say, this is my bold Melissa statement, and I tell you, on Watch What Happens Live, she bodied the entire episode. I was very proud as a Melissa fan.
Oh my God, her outfit.
I mean, the J-Lo of Housewives, like, leave me alone. Stop it some more. Yes.
A whole side cut out that was all just, come on.
And she told Andy where to go and how to get there too. What people don't realize is there's a lot of people, and maybe I've gotten this space in my head based on how many challenges and roadblocks I've had in my own career. Mm-hmm. You get to a point that, sure, you want all the good stuff. Not saying she doesn't want to be on this show. That check is probably delicious. But what I'm also going to tell you is people who love themselves to the level that they love themselves and to who I finally got to, you're not going to let anybody have the satisfaction to hold anything over on me in regards to, oh, she might not be brought back. If she's not brought back, she will still succeed. This is what you're missing. Yeah. She is not like the rest who are, hi, pick me. Hold on. Hi, pick me. I want to be part of the Teresa train. Like, Melissa's not like that. She's confident. So what I'm saying is if she had a slip up with Nick or whoever, it was probably just a slip up. Joe will deal, she will deal, and they're going to be good. I hate it when other cast members decide how you're going to act. Like, oh, this is going to mess them up. Baby, just because this messed you up with your, and I don't wish what's going on with Jen and Bill, but just because it messed you up, don't throw that on me.
Everyone up, yeah.
We don't rock that way.
Especially you and I being in the gay community, like we understand that some people have open relationships and that it works, and then other couples can't have open relationships because it doesn't work.
That's actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, because if anyone was watching this, like, understand that our perspective is through that. The lens of which I see through the girls, the lens of which I see this stuff, I know from my friends, or even how, when I'm out in these streets, like, I understand, and we all understand, we've learned to understand what it is, what love looks like, what lust looks like, what staying together for a long period of time looks like, despite human things that happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. So relationships are tough. So let me not shit on Jennifer Aiden. Let me just advocate for Melissa and Joe, and I hope everything's good. What do we got for the comments?
So Arthur Edas says, I predict the newbies are boring.
I love the phrasing. I'm predicting that they're boring.
We're in episode 10.
I feel like we like Rachel way better.
I love Rachel because I think she's just a good person. Oh, speaking, well, we'll get into that because I need to dig some more. But, okay, John Fuda's ex-wife is actually speaking out from prison about Rachel.
Oh, based on the kid situation,
which
yes.
I was, again, and this is a rock and a hard place. Like, this poor kid, like, his mother is already in jail, in prison, for some pretty terrible things. So I was hoping that they were going to stray away from it, but it's still brought up. And again, you're in a reality television show, and this is real life, and people through America are actually going through this.
Yeah.
I just wish that we would have a little bit of leniency towards, children and how this is going to affect them in the long run. I don't know
if this is brought up on the show, though. I think this is just brought up through social media feeds and stuff.
They brought up just how she's not a good person and things like that. And so, like, but that it gives segue to go dig, find out, and then for her to have an interview. And it's like, just do your time and then figure it out once you're out. And the most important thing is to try to maintain a relationship with your child and let them know, like, you're in good hands, you respect the person that's raising them right now, and you respect their father. On a lighter note, it's time for Housewives Who. Okay, Ronnie Jr., go ahead and explain the game.
Oh, so I'm hired. I gotta get into my game show.
You're in the hot seat.
Okay. Well, now
I'm in the hot seat, but
now I gotta find it.
You're in the hot host seat.
Okay, I think I found it. Where is it at? 1 second. So it's called Housewives Who, I can tell you that. Here we go. So basically what it is really, really simple. And I'm just trying my very best because Russell, out of the two of us, when we do recaps, he's very big into the games. I struggle with it completely. We've had fun with them, but it's just not what I do. So this is my first go around. So if you could be kind, that would be wonderful. Russell, you're going to be the contestant. So see how that feels.
And if you're not kind, That's what we think about you.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is for Housewives Who, I'm going to give four clues, or not clues, but things that accompany each cast member.
Okay.
And the good thing about it, or the hard thing about it, is it's going to be Real Housewives across any franchise, and it could be current or former. Because the reality is, I was trying to do this segment, and every time I did the clues, they were just too obvious. So, Russell, if you have a hard time with this, I will feel very like I did it well. If you guess it in like the first 3 seconds, I'm going to be pissed. So anyways, we have about 5 of them. So let's do the first one.
Okay.
So this is called Housewives Who, brought to you by youtube.com/RussellXRaymond and youtube.com/RandomlyRJ Jr. So your first 4 clues for the first housewife, and I will give you hints if you're close to the franchise or not. But we'll start here. The first one: worked as a waitress, a shampoo girl, a realtor, and a surgical assistant. Second clue: she was born in December of 1970. Third clue: who?
Tamara Jed.
She may have those, but that's not who I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's another thing. Some of these might cross over, so listen to all 4.
Okay.
She has 2 grown children, and she once dated somebody who she was referred to by a former cast member. So those are the 4. Do you need me to read them again, or do you want to start guessing?
She once dated someone who she was referred to by another
by one of her former cast members.
So one of her former cast members introduced her to her ex.
To someone she was dating, yeah. That was a big clue, actually.
Real estate agent. Then went into surgical tech.
Mm-hmm. Born in 1970, 2 grown children. Do you need the franchise?
Yes.
It's going to give it away. But this one happens to be our show here, Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Housewives of Jersey?
Mm-hmm. Worked as a waitress, shampoo girl, realtor, surgical assistant. I'm leaving one big title off of that, FYI. December of 1970, she has 2 grown children, and she once dated somebody who she was referred to by a former cast member. That's a big hint. And I can even go further. Wait. She dated David based on being referred to by this cast member, but I won't say who.
Dolores?
Yeah.
Dolores was a real estate agent?
There was like 100 different things that it stated that she did. And realtor, surgical assistant, corrections is the one that we know. Had I said that, you would have got it right away. Okay. So Dolores Catania. Yeah. Okay. Ready for the second one?
Wow. Good for her. She's had a great career. Okay, go ahead. Next.
Okay. She was born in Alabama in 1967. Clue number 1. Her father worked at an auto factory, and her mother worked at a sewing factory. She once played the role of Roxanne in the 1990 film Without You, I'm Nothing by Sandra Bernhard, and is still friends with Sandra Bernhard to this day. And she turned down marriage proposals from NBA player Jason Williams, mogul Russell Simmons, but she did have a child with a famous actor. And think 90s, like was his heyday.
90s? This is not Beverly Hills.
Not Beverly Hills. I'll tell you when you land it, yeah.
This is not Beverly Hills. This is not Jersey.
Not Jersey.
This.
Go down south.
I was gonna say it's Atlanta.
It's Atlanta. She moved to New York when she was 18 to pursue.
She has a child with who?
With an actor.
With an actor.
Here's the clue. Does not mean she married that man.
No. I know that. Who is the actor?
If I give it away, that you're gonna. Okay,
wait.
I can give it away. Okay, ready?
Is it Candy?
No.
Okay.
She had. Who?
Cynthia.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I didn't realize she had marriage proposals from Jason Williams.
Yes.
Jason Williams, you also saw on Basketball Wives, and Russell Simmons, and went on to have the Noelle with Leon. Okay, so that was number 2. Ready for number 3?
Number 3.
This is harder than you make it look when you host the games, by the way.
Okay.
I'm struggling. I'm like, I need a breath. I need a drink of water. I need an intermission. Ding, 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 ding. All right, here we go. She once worked as a personal assistant to a well-known movie producer. Clue number 2, she describes her childhood as difficult. In 2005, she was a finalist on a reality show, and she was a production assistant on Saved by the Bell.
She was a production assistant on Saved by the Bell.
You could guess franchises, and I'll tell you where
Beverly Hills.
Not Beverly Hills, but she has a huge tie-in with the Beverly Hills person. Actually, 2.
Oh. Not. I was gonna say not JFK, not New York.
It is New York.
It is New York.
Yeah. And again,
give me the clues again.
Current or former. She once worked as a personal assistant to a well-known movie producer. I could even give you a second hint. She was also a nanny to an it girl. Just leave it at that. She described her childhood as difficult. In 2005, she was a finalist on a reality show, and she was a production assistant on Saved by the Bell.
Bethany Frankel.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. How you feeling so far?
Oh my God, stressed out.
Me too. I hope this is good.
I'm so
a good
stressed because
segment.
I'm like, I hope to God he's not going to bring up Real Housewives of Potomac because I do not watch that franchise.
Oh, okay. No,
it's bringing up Real Housewives of DC or Real Housewives of Dallas.
I could give you a hint. There's no DC. There's no Dallas. There's no. I don't think there's Potomac, and there's no OC. So There you go. Here we go. She was born in Newport Beach. This is such a big hint. But what's the laughing?
No OC, but she was born in Newport Beach.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was born in Newport Beach, but has spent plenty of time in Hollywood. A huge hint right there.
Okay.
She has posed for Playboy. She has been on Dancing with the Stars and Celebrity Apprentice, and she made her Broadway debut in 2007. Talking about her Broadway debut on the show is kind of a hint.
Countess Luann.
I think that's a really good guess. That's wrong. And it's not the right franchise either.
Erica Jane.
Very close in terms of what I just said. She made her Broadway debut in 2007. If you could connect those dots, you're close.
Oh, shoot.
Do you want to know what franchise? And then you could go from there?
Yeah.
It's Beverly Hills. She was born in Newport Beach, hear me now, but has spent plenty of time in Hollywood. She has posed for Playboy, which again, many of them have.
Garcelle Davis.
Many of them been on Dancing with the Stars. Who'd you say?
Garcelle Davis.
Garcelle. No, it's not Garcelle. Not Garcelle. She's been on Dancing with the Stars, Celebrity Apprentice, and she made her Broadway debut in 2007, which she tended to bring up on the show when Erica was having her moment. Do you remember who that was?
Why am I not connecting these dots? Is it Kyle?
Oh,
It's
I
not
would.
Kyle.
I would
Kyle's
never.
you
I would never have
use Kyle.
I would never use Kyle. No, never.
Oh, I am going to have to take that.
I could do other clues.
Loss on this
Oh,
one.
I would have given more clues to help. Okay, it's Beverly Hills. It's Lisa Rinna.
Oh my gosh, what an idiot.
This one was hard because anything I would have said would have made it sound like Lisa Rinna. So I had to make it sound like she was, I don't want to say just a housewife, but
yes.
I couldn't say Melrose Place or anything like that.
Yeah,
you would have got it.
Why is this not registering? Okay, so
we got 2 more, and the last one is shady, FYI. Okay. This one is somebody you like. There's your hint. She and her family moved to Illinois when she was 5 years old, and they also relocated to Los Angeles. In 2007, she was Miss Howard TV on Howard Stern's show. In 2007, she was among the 25 sexiest women in the world, according to Playboy magazine. And she has recently separated from her husband March of this year.
Recently separated from her husband of March this year.
My hint is we've talked about this person, and you've said, I'd love to see this person back. So this person has been out of Housewives. You have told me that you like this person.
Oh.
That's a big hint. That's a big hint. If you get the franchise, you're going to get it. This game is so tough.
Wait. Okay. I would like to see this person back.
You stated that in a recap we've done on our YouTube. Yes.
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
We didn't recap Beverly Hills.
We recapped Miami. Joanna Krupa.
Yeah, that's it. Yes. You got it. And I know you liked her, so. This last one,
I actually met her. She's a very nice person.
Yeah, she recently did break up. Unfortunately, maybe a perfect time for her to come back to the show and kind of start over. Yeah, we'd be here for it. Okay, last one in terms of Housewives Who, this segment that is hopefully not going off the rails. All right, here we go. Here's the clues. She has been married 3 times. She was an actress briefly. She was once on a reality show called Famous Food, along with Heidi Montag and other former reality stars. And she once went by another name.
By another name?
I'll put it to you like this.
Danielle Staub?
You got it right.
Yeah.
All of her clues were so spot on that you would have got it right away. So I had to throw it off a little bit.
The whole cooking show threw me.
Congratulations, Russell, and congratulations to me. We got our first segment together, or my first segment. Yeah, that was called Housewives Who, and thank you for checking it out and participating. We'll have many more segments like that in the future as we recap Housewives of New Jersey and all the pop culture goodness as we always do. So thank you.
And our last but not least talking point for this episode, because we actually moved kind of quick on this one, and we really got to wrap. Nudes to you, sir. Ronnie Jr., when the cast was talking at the table about if they send their husbands nudes, I was surprised to hear that it was a no.
They all said no except for Danielle, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Rachel was like, my husband's been 6 years. He knows what it looks like. And Melissa was like, oh, God, no. And no one does. And I was like,
can I tell you what I think it was?
What?
And I know we got to wrap. I think it was there's too many things that go on like these social media platforms that aren't as legit as they should be. So had someone said, yes, this is what, we keep it spicy. This is what we do. There might be something that is alleged later, like, oh, here's such and such's, photograph. So I think it was more to protect a little bit. And also that's the kind of thing you do when you're at a certain stage. I don't feel like it's that hot anymore, but it was a great question. I did think it was good for the show.
I mean, if you're on a vacation, I could see like a cute little butt shot like on the beach. Like if you're with your girls, like, oh, send this to Joe, like, or like just something.
Well, I didn't like the fact that they send Danielle did a photo, they sent it to Joe, and it reminded me of I think last season or one of the seasons they did something to Joe and it was like a joke. I was like, we don't joke like that. We don't joke. We do not joke like that.
I will say that was like going into deep waters, because if he didn't respond what they wanted him to respond, it would have got real tricky.
That's what I'm saying. And here we got Jen Aiden like all happy about it. I'm like, Jen, you're not really that much interested in making this a happy moment. You're kind of digging. Yeah, it was bad. Question to you.
Props to Joe.
Props to Joe.
Getting that right on his first quiz.
Do you want to answer when you're traveling? Do you send them to Shane?
It was so great seeing you guys today on The Real Housewives.
It got real. It got real. You see what I'm saying? This show went off the rails. Thank you, everyone, for checking it out. We had a really, really good time. But that's a good question. Russell will answer that one day. Look at it. It's too real. It's too real for the kid.
Look.
Okay.
I'm home every night.
All right. A face is worth 1,000 words. That's it. We got it. Good episode, though. Shout out to our queen, Melissa Gorga. We love her so much. And I really love the episode. I want to see more of Ireland. I find myself not being a jealous person. At least I think I'm not, because I feel like when jealousy comes, you're supposed to embrace it and kind of like work through it. So I work really hard at that. But I got to tell you, Russell, as we end, I was jealous as fuck that I couldn't be in Ireland. And I'm going to leave it there. I was so, and I have not been that way. I watched them go on all these travels, Housewives, right? All these reality shows. I was so bitterly like, why the F am I not there? I was mad. So let that be the motivation for us to create better programming, better recaps, and hopefully get the coin to go one day. Yeah.
All right, friends. Well, thank you for joining us here on season 13, episode 10 of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, and our recap with myself and Ronnie Jr. for a little R&R. Until then, we'll see you next time. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow both of our channels. See you later.
Cheers.